President, of course, it feels good that when you can say a term like this. Even now, we will see if we can say it then too in December or in January. And I'm happy to be here. I'm very honored. It's full house, it's packed, and I really appreciate your interest. And as said, in my business, I'm a digital media and event manager too, and so you always like it, of course, when you have full house and see all the tense situation and the interest. And I know that entire Europe and Austria is so much interested in the election process, and see many friends here. And as said, I am expressing my personal views. I know that it's going to be a very tight race. It's going to be tough, and it's on the edge of history. What will happen within the next days and weeks? As mentioned, I had the honor to participate in the Democratic Party already 10 years ago when I was a football scholar in Boston, and I started to be part of Hillary Clinton's first presidential campaign. The primaries in New Hampshire, in Maine, in Massachusetts, that were then lost against Barack Obama, who then became president, as we all know. And when I visited the Consumer Electronics Show, in Las Vegas, in January in 2014, I was on my way to from Los Angeles to from San Francisco to Las Vegas via Los Angeles, and then I received the email of the Ready for Hillary Super PAC. It was the 2nd of January 2014, and at that moment I knew, okay, now it's going to start again, and the circus is going to be moving again. And since then I was part of that. I visited the offices and helped in canvassing and phone banking and convincing young voters, especially millennials, which got a tight race with Bernie Sanders. And then, of course, the upcoming of Donald Trump that we face now. I said this is my personal view. I thank you for the invitation, Alexander, that you arranged this. And I know, and we are all aware, that this race is nearly 50-50. And I want to start with a short video about Hillary.
What is a fighter? To me, a fighter is someone who won't give up.
To me, a fighter is someone who's passionate about what they believe in, that will make a difference in people's lives.
Before the Secretary of State, Sandra led first lady of the country. She was just a caring, young, bright, creative student who cared about children and those left behind. Hillary came to work for the Children's Defense Fund when we were a fledgling, beginning organization.
The children I met lived harsh lives. It was so overwhelming because people were being treated like they weren't even full human beings.
There are no miracles involved. This is hard work. It's sticking with it. It's perseverance. Over the years, she has made a cumulative, I think, significant impact for children.
In September 1995, I was at the UN conference in Beijing.
The history of women has been a history of silence.
Many people in our own government, in our Congress, did not want me to go to Beijing. But don't shy away from confronting human rights abuses.
It is a violation of human rights when babies are denied food or drowned or suffocated simply because they are born girls.
This entire conference hall exploded with this energy and enthusiasm.
Human rights are women's rights, and women's rights are human rights once and for all.
Hearing the words that you said, she taught me that there were no limits to what I could achieve.
Bill asked me to lead up our efforts. We try to see if we couldn't get quality, affordable health care for every American.
Now is our chance to beat the historical odds, to give the American people the health security they need.
We worked really hard. We weren't successful. I was really disappointed. But you have to get up off the floor and you keep fighting. So I got to thinking, let's see what we can do to help kids.
You want universal health care for children. You seem to be swimming against the tide.
Well, that's because I think the tide is not going in the right direction. I was very proud when the Children's Health Insurance
this morning that a plane has crashed.
I'm very proud of being part of the recovery work I brought you.
One of the firefighters just said to me, you know, Senator, please, please don't let anybody forget what happened here, and don't let anyone forget us.
I was so overcome by their courage and their compassion. I knew that I had to also pay attention to what happened to those brave men and women.
She stood up day in and day out, fighting for our medical treatment. It has made a huge difference in my life.
Ladies and gentlemen, U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Rodham.
I was a Foreign Service officer for 26 years. The fact that she was willing to work for a former rival, President Obama, restored my faith in the process.
He won and I lost. And then he asked me to be Secretary of State. And I agreed for the same reason. We both love our country.
She was the most dogged, determined Secretary of State I think I've ever seen. She mended relationships with countries that had been frayed. But she didn't just fight for American values abroad. She fought for the families who served the State Department. And Secretary Clinton is exactly that kind of fighter.
Everyone deserves a chance to live up to his or her God-given potential. That's the dream.
So you see that a very professional campaign had been brought up. I can say that there were some issues in the first campaign that she had 8 years ago. It was all planned concerning the Super Tuesday and that we would win this on 5th of February 2008. It came differently, but now it was a second chance for Hillary Clinton under her motto, if we stand together, if we work together, we'll all rise together, and her slogan, we'll be stronger together. Hillary Clinton is a controversial personality, as we all know. She's known as a wife. I mean, there has been a special topic about that we are all aware. She's been really proud mother of Chelsea Clinton, the grandmother. She has really, really been a strong advocate for women and kids. And when she started with the Children Defense Fund, she could have gone to another kind of law firm or another kind of business, but she chose that path decades ago, and it was really an important issue for her to bring a change. Also, of course, a strong First Lady of the United States, with all the jealousy that were compared with these times, like the pillory, or that you get two for the price for one, as Bill mentioned in his campaign, and also the healthcare reform that she tried to do, which wasn't that successful 20 years ago. But she was, from the first moment on, it was clear that she would be one of the strongest First Ladies in office. Then, as you know, she became senator, so she really got, she really won elections, which is the big difference when, as First Lady, she won together with Bill Clinton. Then as senator, she won her own elections. So she really showed, I can do campaigning, I can get the votes, and I can win this. Then she was the Secretary of State. She says she's a hair icon, and you have to know that all the self-irony is a very important part of the entire campaign. So it's better to confront that directly, and all the jokes about her, how she loved, and her pantsuit, and her hairstyle, and she's not a good singer, and so on. The pantsuit aficionado. And of course, as said, now the first female, first ever female presidential candidate of a major political party. And to make it clear again, her vision for America. Hillary's vision for America is first a fair tax system that reaches all of the population, an economy that works for everyone, and there's a track record for decades that it was a very important the Clinton politics, which you even call the golden era. Then a level playing field for small businesses. So it's a business approach to support entrepreneurial spirit, to support startup spirit, but of course to bring strong business. So it's never against the business, never against the economy. It's with the economy, together with the business people, together with small and middle-sized entrepreneurs to bring jobs and turnover. Of course, harnessing technology and innovation. She knows that this is a very important part of America's success. Workforce skills and job training, especially for women, and strengthening manufacturing. So it is a clear, progressive, democratic agenda. There are also different point of views concerning her work as Secretary of State of the United States. And this is her famous speech in Beijing, 1995, where she made clear human rights and women rights are human rights, which she then continued to say human rights are gay rights and gay rights are human rights. So she has been a real fighter for the progress. She's been one of the first candidates to march also in the New York Pride, and she's been a strong liberal supporter of the LGBT community to bring a difference. She visited more countries than any other Secretary of State before her. That's an important part, even more than Henry Kissinger. She did a direct diplomacy with many successes. In her book, Hard Choices, there are many interesting parts. She committed to global women's rights. On the one hand, concerning the legislations and the law process. On the other hand, also, of course, with the incentives she can give with town hall meetings in other countries, with the interviews she does, especially in countries where women's rights are not that clear on the table. She's best for policy jobs in the field, and she's open-minded and attentive. Hillary's message is to move forward for the country, to be stronger together, and her mission as a president is to address the challenge of American families, because she is aware that the situation that happened also with Bernie Sanders, who got so many votes in the primaries, where she really got aware how unsatisfied are people with their job situation and with their income, and they really have the problem that they feel that it's an unfair economic and political system. Second, she wants to work with both parties to make the boldest investments. She moves forward, yes, yeah, no problem. She's really, of course, one who wants to do politics with the Republican Party. I know that, and it's the same, like we have the situation in Europe that we cannot discuss now, and also in Austria, that you measure any try for compromise as, yeah, clear, that's the establishment. Of course she is a politician, and of course she has a natural approach to the use of power. Otherwise she wouldn't run for president. So she will work with the Republican Party to get things done. And it has been always a matter of fact that she's a pragmatic person. And she really wants to raise incomes and help working families get ahead, because you have these differences of income, and especially for women, and that's an important issue for her. The pragmatism is an important part, and the entire campaign, and also she personally is aware that this is part of some kind of critics, that she is not the same personality, and she's not a copy of Barack Obama, of course. She has her own style and her own approach of politics. As we say, she is a strong leader, she is electable, she has really many endorsements, and which is very interesting for many Republicans too, which shows the real nervosity that is going on in the United States, how this country is going to be developing within the next years and decades. Of course, we have fundraising. She's good at that. The Clintons, they have a good approach to organize campaigns and also to finance them, and this is an important part of their success. She has really learned from her mistakes, and she's aware that she is controversial, and she knows that she's not everybody's darling from the first second or moment on, but this is also not the role of a politician, especially in that position. She's not like the mayor of a small city where you can like be everybody's darling. That is not possible in that position. And she really has this extensive experience, and she's well known and well liked. Now we want to take a look at the Bath Fort, because as you all know, it's going to be a really tight race. I have been very happy here when I joined Democrats, or when I could cooperate with the Democrats Abroad organization in Austria, to have a new friend with whom together really marched through Austria and had many presentations, meetings, lectures about the elections. He's a true friend and a true young leader, and I want to welcome him here and ask him to join me here, and also that you all know him for here and for the future. This is Kasper Dalstrup, the person for the Democrats Abroad in Austria. Thank you. Kasper and me have worked together on all the issues. We know now for 2 years since the election process started. In the beginning, the Democratic Party had to be neutral until the Democratic National Convention. So it had to stay neutral, and from then on it had to be clear that Hillary Clinton will be the candidate of the Democratic Party. I asked him to join me at every lecture and every presentation we went to do together. He has a great experience in campaigning with several congressmen, starting from the age of, I think, 17 or 18. He is in the political process, and I'm happy and proud that we can be a duo here, and of course, as you can imagine, really work hard and continue to win. And so I want to give you the floor now and ask you for a little double conference with me. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm not going to talk here as the spokesperson or press person for the Democrats Abroad. Of course, we're all happy to have a conversation with you later on about these matters. We are just as interested in hearing all of you guys' inputs, especially if you are Americans. Even if you vote for the Republicans, please vote. And please make sure that you are registered. The deadlines are coming up, and I want to make sure, we are 8 million Americans abroad, and we do have a voice, and that voice does count. It's 8 million people. That's a lot. That's bigger than, I think, half of all the states of the U.S. We should be heard, and right now we're not. The Republicans don't even have a chapter abroad, so we are doing our efforts. What I will be talking about now, though, since you guys, I could imagine, are materially interested in who becomes president, it's going to be a very different feeling, a very different business environment, depending on who gets to sit in the White House. Especially, I don't know if there are any military contractors, but NATO closing down could be a problem if you rely on supplying those guys. So, to begin with, this is the United States, of course. It's the electoral map from a place called 538. I'm using these guys as a source. Really what they do is compile a lot of the polls. So I want to talk about these polls. I'm sure all of you have heard, when I was working on campaigns, we loved polls. We could make sure that if our candidate was a little bit behind, well, we'd send out an email saying, hey, we're a little bit behind. Could you give us $100 so we can get ahead? If we were even, we'd say, hey, we're even. We just need a little bit more so we can get ahead. If we were ahead, well, we'd say, yeah, we just need a little bit more so we can stay ahead. So people, and we knew this always fired up people. People love polls. But the problem is, people also misunderstand them. So I heard from a lot of my Austrian friends. There was a poll out, apparently, that had Trump ahead by a few points. That's worrying, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not necessarily where you want to be looking. You see, there's a lot of polls out there, and really what you need to look at is the average. That's where these guys come in, and they are very handy. Right now, as you can see, they have Hillary with a chance. This is not how many votes. This is not the vote percentage. This is her chance of winning. We'll get into what they project as the polling numbers. But this is what they see as the chance of Hillary winning versus Donald Trump. To some of you, this may be shocking. I know it was to me. It's been falling. You can see, you have the next one. Here's how it's been changing. So right around here, you have Trump's Republican convention. I don't know if you guys saw it. I tried not to. Then right around here you have the Democratic National Convention. I was actually there working on the digital campaign. And so you see this is where you sort of get the divergence. Then in the last few weeks, there's been another convergence. A lot of people want to say, you know, it's because Hillary was sick and didn't tell anybody about it. It's because, you know, Donald Trump is doing really well. Well, thank the media for that. I want to say, if you really look into the numbers, one of the big changes that's been going on here is really that the poll makers are starting to make a lot of assumptions. So over here, they were very, very happy to let anybody speak. And so what they've started doing here is say, okay, the Democrats seem to be less enthusiastic about the election. That means we'll discount some of their votes because we don't think they're going to come out and vote. Remember, only about 50 to 60% of Americans actually vote. And so this is, I think, why you see a lot of the convergence. And then, of course, this guy down here, the Libertarian, and the Green Party, Jill Stein, are taking a lot of votes from Hillary. So that's why you see the change in odds. It's not necessarily, as you saw, it's not necessarily that Trump is rising rapidly. He's around 38, 40%. Hillary is only at 41, 42% nationally. And so, well, to step away a little bit from where this is going, just because the trend line is downwards doesn't mean that it's going to keep going that way. Otherwise, Hillary would be 100% around here. But the point is to say that don't get caught up in the everyday news articles. Don't think that just because Trump happened to get 2% more than Hillary, that's what's going to happen. Because a lot of what's going on, I think at least, in my opinion, is that when people were looking at the odds right here, they were saying, I live in Florida, Hillary's going to win by 2%. I don't really like her that much. I hate Trump more, but I don't really like Hillary. So if she's going to win anyway, why do I need to bother to go out and vote? Now, that may not be a problem with one person. It may not be a problem with two persons. But if that makes sense for one person, it's also going to make sense to a whole lot of other people. That's what we're seeing in the polls right now. So, I think that's where the silver lining is for those of us who have taken a jump on the bandwagon of Hillary Clinton. We're hoping that people are going to start panicking. Sorry. They're going to get very enthusiastic about getting out there and voting for the candidate that they like. Yes, and this is just a fun little thing. They've been starting. If you're a poll watcher like me, there's people who have started betting on it. So they put their actual money on who they think is going to win. So it's a fun little thing. They'll show you a lot of people, a lot of the smart money, supposedly, is on Clinton winning. It's another way of looking at it. That can also be a little bit fun. I don't trust it too much, but yeah. So yeah, I think with that, I hope I gave you a little bit of an idea. The race is still in flux. There's a lot of stuff that can happen. Of course, we have the debate on Monday. By the way, the Democrats abroad will have an event to watch it, not during the night. We all have jobs, and the day after we'll have an event to watch it again.
In a good location, yeah.
In a very good location, I believe.
I have a question,
yes.
Out of curiosity, because you're talking about 8 million expats, and I am an expat, but how do you do the outreach to the expat kids who are in schools here? How do you, because the reality is, we can all come in and we can register and you talk to your kids and they say, what for, Mom, Yeah. So my question to you is, I think it's a very serious election. I also have I'm not panicked, but I do have serious concerns working back and forth in Europe and in the United States. But, trying to motivate the kids, over 18, I would say you're right, the Republicans aren't really interested because why bother? Yep. The Democrats have been here for a long time, Democrats are out, but I think it's very interesting to get more involved with, I mean, how do you reach these kids?
Well, fortunately, I'm one of these kids, so I can, I guess, speak on behalf of them. I mean, it's tough. It is. I study at the Diplomatic Academy, and we have a lot of people going in and out, every 2 years. And the ones who come in now, they're beginning here in a few weeks, and they're probably not going to be here in time to register to vote back home. The ballots won't be able to be sent. So it is difficult. There is a reason that not a lot of resources are being put into it. I mean, I don't know. I managed to get my brother to register. He lives in Denmark. And you just have to keep talking to kids. We do have these outreaches. We have a concert in a few weeks. I try to talk with the ones that are around me. Really, what I found on the campaigns is it has to be a one-to-one touch. You can send out all these emails, you can have all these ads, but really what counts in the end is somebody having a conversation with you and telling you that this matters. I mean, if you're in, there is a very easy way to do it. There's a website where you fill it all in. Anybody who's interested, I have the cards. We can talk afterwards. I can give you a bunch that you can give to your people. But I mean, there is no magic formula. There's a reason that Clinton has invested so much money in the field game. You can't just say, here, I'll give you this, and then you do it. You have to knock on their doors, talk to them, call them on the phone a little bit later.